Okay. Just ignore that. So yesterday I left at a point where you were trying to replace those null values with some values. I think you were able to cover the mean part. We were able to cover the mean part, and I think we were stuck where you were trying to replace those null values with mode, right? But I left an assignment where you were to, let me just, yes, I left an assignment where you were to replace all the null values with median. I don't know how many of you were able to do that, because again it was quite similar on what we did with mean. So let us just start from where we were stuck yesterday, and that is the position where we were trying to do what? To replace the null values with mode. I don't know, where is this? Yeah, I think it was at this point. Uh, so for the median, I think we are going to do even for the median, because I can see nobody tried that. Is there someone who managed to replace the null values with median? Anyone? You guys, you decided not to do the assignment. Who is willing to do it for us? Nobody. Uh, Aiga, can you try that? Or maybe Fahiza Adam.
James, I'm in a matatu heading home, so I'm just following through.
Okay.
Kindly.
Okay. So Faiza, are you able to guide us on how to replace the null values with median? Or maybe we can have Sharon. Sharon Nyamoya?
James, just kindly pass it to somebody else. I'm not in a position to do that.
Okay. I think we can just do it together, because I don't think it's a tough thing to do. But let us just yes.
I was trying to do the mod.
Yes.
I got error.
You got an error. I want us to start from the mode.
Yeah, my mod here is having error.
Okay, let us just start from where we left yesterday. Then maybe you guys. I think by the time we are finishing this, you should be able to do it on your own. So let us just check a different what? Let us just check a different column. here, I think we can just take duration and check if duration has mode. I think James, your mic is on. Good. Thank you. So let us just try this with duration. And before even I replace with duration, let me just check if there is if the duration column has a mode. So I think we can just comment out this and print out that. Let us just run through this. And see what will be the output here. Um, I'm told that the file not found. I thought we had imported that file. Let's just check this. So I think you can just upload. You can just upload it. And where was that? It was somewhere here. Is it the exercise data? I think it's this one. And yeah, I think that. Let us try to rerun this. And again, if you're using the Colab, you will have to upload that data again, or else you will get errors. So I can see we have mode as 51.8, and if I were to just display this data, let us just try to display this data set. Let me just try to print this data set here. I just want to check if the duration has these null values. I think we have line 51 and 56. Let us just try to replace these. So as I said yesterday, first of all, the first step is to access your data frame. And my data frame here, I've named it as exercises underscore data underscore df. After that, in that data frame, I want to access this duration column. And we say that we use the fill now method to replace those null values with a value. So inside this fill now method, I must pass in my mode, and you can see my mode. I have named it as is it the calories burned mode. That is the value that I want to place here. And I have the other part, the other argument that is called the in braces. We are setting it to true. So let us just try to print this df again and see if we have replaced that. And we can see again we are getting an error here. I think you can just check this one from Pandas documentation. There must be Pandas documentation. I think you can just confirm. Maybe there is something that I've maybe changed. Let us just check these. Let us just check mode. I think you can just check through these and see what could be the problem here. I think I can just take you through these. We have a DF here. That is the species legs. We have a data frame with how many? We have like 3 columns here, and we can see the bird here has a null value at wings, and we have mammal has null value at wings. So you're told by default missing values are not considered, and the mode of wings are both 0 and 2. Let's just check through these. Oh. Think let me just check. So setting a drop, let's see. Yeah, you can always check the documentation. There is no problem. Replacing missing values with what? With mode. You can always check indexing. Let us just check through this. I don't know why they are not giving me the okay. Let us just work for the median, and then maybe I'll come back to check that mode stuff. So that it doesn't waste a lot of time. I think we can work with median first. Let me just change this and I'll consult something here. Median. Let us just work with the median first. So we are going to change everything to median. I think there must be something wrong with this mode of ours here. I think you can just change everything to median here. Let us just first check the median of these data set. Median. So we are getting the median for this data as 60. And I think we can just try to see if our data set, the null values are replaced with median. And I think, yes, we can see that line 56, it was line 56 and line 51. We have already replaced those null values with our median here. So I think I'll just check through the problem with mode, because it should work. So who is now willing to maybe fill all the null values with all the null values for which, for, let us just check the column with null values. I think calories burned. I need someone to guide us on how to replace all the null values in calories burned column with the median. So who can guide us through that? This one was for duration. Let us just check this one for duration. In duration, so I need someone to guide me through how we are going to replace all the null values in calories burned column with median value. So who is willing to help us with that? And also I'll need someone to again help us with replacing the heart rate null values with mean. So I can have a gentleman and a lady to take that challenge. So who is willing to help us with that? I think I can just choose a random person. Let us start with ladies today. Who is willing to help us with that? So someone to volunteer before I choose someone who is willing to help ladies. No one. Uh, can I choose someone? I think I'll choose Fahiza. Fahiza Adam.
Yes, James.
Yes, I think you can help us with now for ladies. I just need I need you to help us replace all the null values in heart rate column with mean. So this is the heart rate column, and let us just check through if we have. Yeah, I think we have a null value at line 58. So I need you to replace this with mean.
Okay. Can you first copy paste that you did, the one for medium that you just did? Then we just change the.
I just want you to start from the start. I think that's why I've opened a new cell, so that we can just see the steps that we should maybe take.
No.
Yes. So where should we start?
Okay, so I'm still working on it. Can we start with the gentleman, then we can come back to.
Okay, I think it's quite easy because the first step is we are starting with importing pandas as PD. Okay, let me just initiate the first part, and then maybe you can You can take, okay, let me, where is this?
Or you can just write import pandas as PD, then numpy as what? Numpy as NP.
Yes, and then that is what I want to, I just want to initiate the process, and then maybe you can take over from where I will, oops, where is this? Okay, yeah, it's here. So we are, what we are doing here is replacing all the null values with what? Null values in what is this, heart rate? I think it's heart rate column with the mean. So we start that process by importing pandas SPD. So the second thing is to read the data. You can just copy that from here. We are just going to call it exercises underscore data underscore df. That is the second step. So I think you can take over from here now.
Oh, I thought you were copy pasting. Then that you just.
No, it's just 2 lines of codes that you need to add here.
Okay, you can start calories underscore band underscore. We're doing mean.
We are doing, in fact, we are in the heart rate column with this
Okay.
this column here, heart rate.
Oh, heart rate. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
heart underscore rate underscore mean.
Okay, let me. And where is this again? Keep disappearing. I think it's here. So here we are calculating mean.
Yeah.
Calculating mean from, oops, with heart rate. Yes. So we are saying that it is heart underscore
Rate.
underscore mean.
Yeah.
So is equals to.
Uh-huh. Now is it the data? We are calling it. Yeah. Exercises data. PDF. Yeah. Data. Mm-hmm. Mm.
So after here, I think from here you can access the this column.
Yeah. Then dot mean.
Dot mean.
Yeah.
Calculating the mean here.
No.
So I think you can just maybe print out the mean, just to counter check if we have a value here. Maybe we can run this. Yeah, at least we have a value. We have mean. So the next step, think we have it here. We don't want to replace those values. So how do we do that? I think this is quite easy because again you just want like you just have like to access, you want to access these the exercise, or the exercise. You guys, you are not practicing these you have to access that data frame, and then you must like specify the column, and in this case it is the heart rate column, right? So, and in this heart rate column we want to use the fill method, and in this fill method we accept two parameters. Even the compiler here is just showing us what we should add in this function here. So the first thing that we should add is the mean, and our mean is held in this it is in this variable here, which is heart rate mean, right? And we want to set this one in place. You just want to set that to true. I don't think this is difficult, but it's after you have practice. You must practice this so that you can do it with you can do it fast and without much difficulties. So by just this line of code, we have now like replaced all the null values in heart rate in the heart rate column with this mean. Just that. If we try to print out this data again, let us just try to print this, and I want to print exercise data frame, and I want to print the head 60 rows. So if I try to print out these, I think I have a typo here, should be in place. So at line 58 is where you are having some null value. We had a null value here, and you can see that we have replaced that null value with our mean here. It is just that simple. Just one line of code, and you have it done. Just this line of code here. This is what you should master. But of course, you should again know how to calculate the mean for a certain column.
Can I copy it before you go further?
So I think you can. I think everybody should copy these. So that as you copy, you learn something. I don't know why you people you are not getting this, and I have tried to explain this well. So, any question up to that point? Any person who need a clarification, or maybe a person who doesn't know, like maybe one of this line of code, maybe what it does. I think I've commented everything here. So Fahiza, are we good now?
Yeah, we are good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I think now we can have a gentleman who will guide us again on how to replace all the null values in the calories burned. I think this time around, I want us to replace that with a median. Just following the same steps. I think that way we are going to get these. Who is willing for the gentleman? Who is willing to save the gentleman in this class? If you're stuck, we are going to help you. So any person? No one? Alvin. Can we have Alvin help us to? Can we have Alvin? Alvin? Is Alvin in the call? I think Alvin has not joined yet. But we can have Martin.
Martin is simply copying and from your screen to my screen. I'm still trying to make sense out of it.
Okay.
But the good news is what I copied is working.
Okay. So who can help us to do that? I think this is quite simple. But even we can have a lady who is willing maybe to help these gentlemen here. Or we can have Vince Muirore.
I can try.
Good.
So all these are very useful, yeah. And it's important to know when to switch, especially since some of them don't come cheap. So when you are investigating,
and Martin, you have noise in your background. You're in your background.
Context of the niche, the some region.
Okay.
No, that is not Martin.
It's my background.
I mean Vince. Okay, let us start, Vince.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question? What we are replacing the null values of the calories burned
of these calories burned
with the median.
With the median, yeah. replacing
Uh,
we can just start.
okay, import pandas as PD.
Importing pandas as PD.
As you can to explain
Then exercises underscore data underscore DF.
Just
You can copy that.
just a minute. I want to allow someone here.
prognosis, if you like. Patients want to
I think I can just copy this.
again, this is what we
Let
were
me just copy
teaching.
this.
More than data science is the art of how you take the history, how you ask the questions.
I think you can take
Your
control.
facial expression.
Then you write calories underscore band underscore median
You don't look like just dry robots asking question one, answer one, question two, answer two. Just moving
is equals to exercise underscore data DF.
And also asking them when they feel like asking questions back. And at the end of my inquiry and examination of the patient,
Then you open the square bracket.
Is there anything
and that one. You put in calories underscore band dot median.
Dot median.
Understood? And then the question to ask, and someone say, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
It should be a dot median.
Then below that, we can first print the median so that we see what the median is.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, we already have that median.
Yeah, then now we put the code for replacing the null values with the median. It will be exercises underscore data DF.
Oh, this one. Let me just copy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the square bracket, you put the calories burnt inside. Dot filner. You copy that one for calories burnt median. Open the bracket, calories burnt median.
So they may expect to do an MRI scan, but they may not know there's an MRI scan. But because they get out there,
comma in place is equals true.
Then they ask the question, but how does it not come to spine? Because unfortunately, we have done.
Then now you print the exercises data DF. Dot head into bracket 60 so that you can get the 60 inputs.
Yeah, the records there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this because I know out there they ask. Please tell them the doctor has not done it.
I think you should remove this one print. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, like that.
Oh, please go to another one. They spend a lot of money unnecessarily because of
the guide is bad. I think
doing lots and lots of investigations. Sometimes,
let's see this.
all of these investigations are very, very important.
Let us just check the calories band. Where are we having these empty columns? It was at line 47. I think you can just check line 47 here. Yeah, and we have it as 541.19. I think that is it. Yeah, that is right. It is just that easy. And I think we should now move forward to the next thing. I'm assuming that most of us have understood that. And if you have any question, maybe you can reach out. But that is how we do that.
Kindly paste for me this one.
Oh,
I have followed. I think I'm getting.
okay. You want this
Yeah.
code? I think we can. I think I can share that at the in-call messages here. I think now you have it. So let us just move to the other part of our discussion, so that I think we can finish up with these pandas library. Let me just comment out these. I think we check the info method just to get the information about our data set. Um, hmm. And I think so far
Yeah.
we have covered
Can I add something?
yes.
This I am seeing PD and PF, DF. What are those things?
At what place? Oh, the
Like
PD,
what
this PD.
Pandas SPD
Oh,
and then
it's
exercise underscore data underscore DF. They are prominently here.
okay at this code. Okay, let me just. Oh, so PD. I think you are not in class, but I think I explained this. So PD is just a shorthand for pandas. So instead of like writing pandas everywhere, we have written PD. You can just use this short form for pandas,
Okay.
and that is why we are importing pandas as PD, so that we can simply instead of typing pandas, we can just write PD. I think PD is quite easy to type compared to typing this whole word here, pandas. So it's just a shorthand for pandas. So the DAF just represents the data frame. So, but you can name this variable the name that you think it's quite uh, that that makes sense to you. This one is just an variable name. You don't have like to add it with a DF or maybe even write data. You can just write. You can just name it whatever name you want, as long as it makes sense to you and maybe to someone who might want to read your code. So I think that is clear. Um, any other question before we move to data cleaning? And I think we have done some part of data cleaning, because one of ways to clean data is through maybe removing of empty cells and or maybe replacing empty cells with some data. So so in a way we have just introduced to ourselves what is maybe data cleaning in the previous discussions. So data cleaning means fixing bad data in your data set, and bad data includes empty cells. We can see here that bad data includes empty cells. We have data in the wrong format. We have wrong data, we have duplicates. So these are, I think, just but some of as what examples of bad data. That is empty cells, data in the wrong format, wrong data, and duplicates. I think we have seen how we can remove empty cells and how we can replace empty cells with some data, either using mean, mode, and median. I think we also use the drop method again to drop some values, some empty values, and I think we have discussed all these. I think we have covered most of these. Up to where you are to continue, I think we have covered again the median and median. I think I'll have to give you examples of these maybe sometimes later. I'll find a good example to explain these, but at least we have covered the mean and median.
Excuse me, James.
This question is.
I have a question.
It's at risk of life. So when we
How comes when we, let's say, replace the null values of the calories band with a median or mean, then the output has the other one which we did for duration, still having the null value.
Okay, I think that is a good question. That is simply because we haven't saved that data yet. So like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain that, but it's simply because we have our focus was like we haven't like saved that data yet, and that is the reason why we can. That is the reason why we can use that exercise underscore data for like in many examples. Simply because like when you're writing this program, let me just see that here. Okay, when you are doing data cleaning, let's say you are to start here. When I click this play button here, it will just execute these lines of codes. And at this instance, the exercises underscore data frame, it is free from null values at calories band. So this means that because I have these files saved elsewhere, it means it still has those null values, because on the run of maybe this code, that is where I've just removed those null values. But you have options of saving these data. But again, when you're doing analysis with a program, you will have that refined data until maybe you do the visualization of the data. I think that is the right place, the right time to even save the cleaned data. Not at this point. At this point, we can just work with what, like just have that null values replaced without even saving the data. Because if we were to save this data, again, it means that we could have another file except this, because we cannot save this file, and like we cannot save this file like twice, having exercise underscore data, the one with null values, and still have the same exercise underscore data like without those null values. So if we were to save this, we could have saved this with a different name. And since we have not like finished to clean this data yet, I don't see the essence of saving the data. So I think that is quite, I've explained it to you. I don't know if I don't have another concern, but that is simply the case. We don't have to keep saving this file, otherwise we would have so many files, CS files.
So,
Energy that was in the core.
so when we save at the end, does that mean all the changes that we have done above will apply?
It will, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's important.
Otherwise we will have so many exercises and score data files, because we are still practicing on how to do the cleaning of the data. So I think that is quite clear. So let us just move on with what I think I was explaining something here. Yeah, I think we have discussed the cleaning of empty cells. I think we have also achieved this, replacing only specified colors. We have done that. Yeah, I think we can just try to check cleaning data of wrong format, and we can convert, maybe we can convert data with wrong format to correct format. So I think in our data frame we have two cells with the wrong format. I think you can just check out these. That is, we are told the row 22 and 26, they have date column should be a string that represent date. I think we can check the an example of a wrong data format, still with this exercise underscore data. Let us just check that. I think you can have another cell here, but this time I'll just copy this and paste it here. Let me just try to print this. And copy this here. Df. Just try to run this. Let me pretend the first columns, rows. I mean, sorry. Let me just try to print this. We are told that line 22 is really this data. That is line 22 and 26. But I can see this data. I think line 22, and okay, let me just import another data set here that is called data. This one. We just try to read this one. This one is a different one. I think I have so many data sets. Let me just check the one with the wrong format. I think it is this one, whereby I have line 22 having an null value. This one is a sample of a wrong data format. Let me check 26. And again at line 26, again I have a wrong format. I have wrong format here. So you can just check this. If you have this, I think I'll share these. I'll share this data set after we are done here. So at line 26 and line 22, we have wrong data format. So I think you can just check how to remove those. Where is this? Yeah, to convert all the cells in the date column into date. So Pandas has a to date. It's called to_datetime method. This one will enable us to correct that format, like the one in 26, and we can achieve that by, we can just copy these. Let me just copy that, and I think we can use this one to correct these. That line 26, you can see this one is a wrong format, but in 22 we have just a null value. But with this one we can convert this one to a correct data format using this. Let us just see this. So I'll just start by accessing this data frame, and my interest is in this column date, and I want to set that one to date, that is date time format. So again I can just copy this one here. So if I run these, I think you should run these just to convert all these, that is line 26, into the correct data format. I think we can just try to rerun these and see. I'm told I have a problem here. Let me just check. I have a problem here. Let me. A keyword the above exception was direct code. Let me just check if we have this column here. Do I have this date column in this data set? Let me check date.
I think something is looking wrong even in the brackets, because the statement ends with a bracket, a parenthesis, and there's no matching one somewhere. No?
Let us check I think we have we invoke in PD to date time, and then we have exercises underscore data underscore df, and then we want to access these dates. I think it should give me some options here. No, with this one, this is the matching one. This is the opening and the closing, and then we have the square bracket is this one. This one crosses this one. So I don't think the issue is matching brackets. But let us just check this. Let us just read through these and see what is the issue here. Keyword 8. Let me just try to access these and see if I'm able to access. I think we have an issue with accessing these columns here. Let me just try to access duration column. I think we have a problem with this data format here. Because I don't see the reason why we should not access this duration format. Let me check a different data set. This one is a comma separated. Let me just try to use this one. Let me just delete this. I think I have two files here. I have data format which has a comma separated values, and I have an Excel one here. Let me just use the Excel and see how it will behave. let us just use this data frame here. I think you can still use the one with exercise underscore data. Let's see if it has some wrong format but I think we can edit this one. Let me just try to edit this one. I think that one will be easier. Let us just try to edit this. You can just edit some of the dates. We can remove the slash. Oops. Oh, let me. I think you can do away with these brackets, with these slashes here. Yeah, good. Let us just upload this. Um, I think we can still work with the null values. Let us just try to modify these null values here and see what you're going to get. Um, oh, what is this? let us just try to use this. And I think you can just try to see if we can access this date column here. And I want to access the exercises underscore data date column. Let us just see if we can access this. I think now we are able to access these. So we can manipulate these. So you're just going to have dates, and I just have to take the df part, copy and paste here. Let us just try to print out these. Again, we are landing into some issues. Oops. I think we have two rows that out of bound, date, time, nanoseconds, timestamp at two positions. Oops. And, let us just see those positions. I think we have the wrong data set here. We are just going to manipulate it until we get the right results. I think you can still open these and see the areas where we have the wrong data here. Let me just take a look. I think it is this part. We have another part here, this part. I think you can save this. Let me upload this file again. I think you can try and rerun this again. We have another field that is at position 97. Oops. Yeah, we cannot have a month that is 18. Also, you cannot have a month that is 29.
I think that is day.
Sorry?
I think that is day. The dates are correctly done.
The dates?
Because we can see we are talking about 26th of July 2022. So I think the days are good.
But that is
maybe the question I would ask is, are we dealing with the right, are we dealing with an Excel file here and your data set is the CSV? Or which data set is this one? Is this the Excel or is it the CSV version?
okay, you can. I think this is a CSV file that I have opened here, but I'm using the Excel to open this CSV file. I think I can show you that this is a comma separated value file. That is what we are trying to manipulate here. And if you were to check, I think we have a mixed date format here. Let me just check through this. Let us just check. Out of bound and second. I think we have an issue here with the date formats because or date time. Just a minute. Let me confirm something here. I think our date format is right. So what we are trying to do here is okay. We have a problem. Actually, we have a problem. We were trying to change that one to we're using the date time function, and we shouldn't be using this. Because in our case we just want to change the date format. We are not dealing with a date time function, so I think we can just try to use the date. Let me just check if you have the to date function. Because I don't think we are dealing with time here. We're just dealing with the dates. So I think what you could be checking, maybe it's this function for date. Let me just confirm something here. In the Pandas documentation here, let us just have a look at this. Code to underscore date. So let us just check this and see. I think it should work with should be to date time. Then let us just pass this whole df of ours here. I think I'll have to take this again. Yeah, I'll have to check this. I'll have to check this from the documentary where, so that I can see where we are getting these errors. So I think we can leave this for at this time, and then maybe I'll check it later. There must be something that have changed. So I'll check that. Um, so the other part was on what? Let us just see these. Maybe there is something that I've changed at the to date time function. I'll have to check that. But let us just continue with the wrong data. And we are told that the wrong data does not have to be empty cell or the wrong format. It can just be wrong. Like if someone registered maybe 199, maybe 199 instead of maybe 1.1.99. So in this case, 199 is the wrong data. So and it should be 1 point maybe 99. Let's say maybe you had data for maybe the height of maybe you can have height data that contains height of maybe maybe dogs. So I don't think there is a dog that is maybe that has a height of maybe 5 feet. So if at all maybe you found 5 feet 5 feet maybe in a data that contains height of dogs, you automatically know that that one is a wrong data. So wrong data that doesn't like necessarily have to be empty cell or a data with the wrong format. Like the one you were just checking from the time, the date, the dates column. So you can have, in this case, you'll notice that five is a wrong data. So that is just an example of a wrong data, and that's why we are saying that you can maybe spot wrong data by looking at the data set, because you have an expectation of what it should be. So like in case of maybe a data set, a column that has height of dogs, and you happen to notice that you are getting a dog that is 5 feet uh, high, you notice that that one is just a wrong data format in that case. So we are saying that it doesn't have to be wrong, but taking in consideration that this data set of someone's workout session, maybe we could conclude that we can conclude that with the fact that let's say that yeah, I have jumped like, yeah, so we are saying if you take a look at our data set, you can see that in a row, I think we are referring to this data here, the data.csv file, and I don't think I have this data set with me. I think I deleted it because it isn't this one. This one is talking about exercises data, but I had another data set which I'll share with you that contained heights of people and some other information. I think that is the data that I was referring to, and we are talking of if you take a look of a data set that I'll share with you, you can maybe see it had a row 7 with maybe duration of 450, but for all other rows duration is 30 to 30 and 60. I think you can still check. Let me just confirm if this data has that data. I think I can just read it here very fast. I think I can even copy this here. Let me just try to read this data set here. You can call it df is equals to pd dot read underscore csv. Let me just copy this and see. It has what I'm trying to explain here. Let us just see this. I think I can just dot head. Let me just have the first 60 columns. So the explanation here is talking of what? Let me check. Row 7. this one has 07 450 million. Yeah, I think this is just the wrong data set. I have to share the right data set. Yeah, but the explanation is what I'm trying to say is that maybe if like in this data set that I'm trying to refer here, I'm talking of row 7 having a duration of 450, but the other rows having a duration of between 30 to 60. You know that we have like we have like for one minute we have like 60 seconds, and having a row that reads maybe 450 seconds, then it means that one is automatically the wrong data, because like we cannot have maybe in a minute having maybe 450 seconds. So it happens that 450 is the wrong data. That is what I'm trying to explain. And I've also given you a case of where you have heights of a dog. Finding a dog of 5 feet, again, it's quite. Uh, I don't think there is actually a dog that has a height of 5 feet. Uh, so that is what I'm trying to mean by wrong data. And the way we just fix that is just by removing those data those data sets. So I think that is basically that with the wrong data. So we can just see one way to fix the wrong values is to replace them with something else. In our example, it is mostly likely maybe I was just saying it mostly likely a typo. Maybe the value should have been 45 instead of 450. And maybe we can replace that one with 45. That is now if you check that those data values keenly. So I think that is basically that. You can just check and maybe remove those data fields, and maybe replace with appropriate data. And I think how we did that, it was just you can use the log attribute again to reach, or maybe to get the location of that value and even replace it. So in this case, you are just using the df, which is the short form for the data frame, and then dot log attribute, and then we just have to replace the replacing value. Maybe let's say it was we wanted to replace that with I mean should be row 7, and the duration, that is the column name, and we want to replace that with maybe 45. So replacing 450 with 45. I think that is just simple as that. I don't think we have to repeat that, because even I showed you how to use log to replace values with hard-coded values. That is the case here. Now you have to apply that. So we are talking of small data sets. You might be able to replace the wrong data one by one, but not for the big data sets. So how do we replace wrong data for larger data sets? You can create some rules, and maybe even set some boundaries for equal values, and replace any values that is outside your boundaries. So maybe we can use that. We can loop through that uh, that that column, and I think I showed you how to use the for loop. So we can use the for loop to loop through that column. So like in this case, it was you were saying for x in the df.index, and the index here is the index is the column that you want to access. That is that in our case it is the duration. So we can just set a rule here and say if the df.log, maybe that x, the duration is greater than 120, we can say that the d log x, we can reduce that one to a certain maybe value. This one is just a rule whereby we are saying if the value is higher than 120, we can set it to 120. Let's say if you had some maybe values of let's say is the duration. I think this one could work best if you had that data set. Let's say if you had 120, 123, another part is having 134, another part is having maybe 167, maybe 102. So we are assuming that this one is we have another 102 here, and another value here that is less than 110. If this is maybe the column that we are referring to, the duration column, so we just want to set a rule that will reduce all the values greater than 120. We want to set them to 120. So we are going just to look through this duration column. That is why we are saying that for x in df.dx, and we want to set a rule. We are saying that if now df.location maybe in this x, I think you know that x is just a variable here, and it is in this now duration column. We are saying that if any value is greater than 120, we want to set that value to 120. I think you can just have an example here. Let me just have an example. Let me just use this data set here. You can just use any data set, or we can just use this one here. Let me just call this data. I think this one will work best with an example. So in this data set, where is this data set? We have duration, and we have pass, we have the max pass, and we have the calories. So I'm talking of maybe, let's say, let us work with the max pass. In this data set of ours, we have some values that are greater than 120. I think you can see that we have some values that are greater than 120. So what we can do, maybe we can set a rule that all the data points that are greater than 120, we can change those data points to 120. So that is where I'm saying we can use a for loop here. Let's just have this for loop here. So we are saying that for x, that is the x will be now the value with the value greater than 120. So for x in df.x, but in this case our df is data dot index. So we are saying if data dot location here dot log in duration. Is it in duration? We are using this max, called the max what? We are using the max pass here. So we can change that one with max pass greater than 120. We want to set that one to 120. Let us see this. This one should be data. Yeah, I think that one will work. So we can just try to run this. And you notice that after running this program here in the max pass, you notice that all those data points that were greater than 120, they have been like set to 120. Everywhere you can see 120 here. We can also maybe set. We can check data values where we have greater than that are greater than maybe 140. Those are the data points that we want to set to 120. So let us just try to run this and see. So if again I scroll down here, you will not see any data point that is greater than 140. So that is what I mean by setting a rule. This one is just setting a rule. It is setting a rule here. So any question up to that point? Any question? This one is just setting a rule. So any question for setting a rule? That is one way of dealing with wrong data. You can set a rule, and the only way you can achieve that is looping through those columns. I think it's quite easy. Yeah, I think we can move forward. If there is no question. The other way of handling wrong data is by removing those rows. You can just assume that you want maybe you don't want to set a rule, but you want to remove those rows. And I think I showed you how to drop rows using the drop now, the drop method. So again, it's just quite easy. Again, we'll have to loop. I think you can just even try to loop through these again. And in this case, we want to remove all the values that are greater than 140. So instead of now replacing that, we can drop values that are greater than 140. So again, we can have that drop. We can have data.drop x in place true. I think this one is again quite easy. Let me just write a comment here. Say this one is replacing values. Replacing values greater than 140 with 120. But this one is now we want to drop these values. So you just invoke the data, these data your data here. You're just going to call this your data, and then the drop method, and then you're just going to pass that that value that is greater than 120. So if again I have to run these, I think you can just have you can have 140. Let me just before even we drop, let us see if we have a value that is greater than 140. You can just comment on that. You can comment out all these just to check if we have a value that is greater than 140. Yes, we have a value at row 10, this one, and we have another value at I think it's only that 147. So I think we can add 145. That is row 1. I think now if I uncomment these, let me just uncomment these.
Even row 4, 148.
Yes, even row 4, yeah. Thank you. Even row 4. So let us see if we're going to achieve that by using this drop, the drop method. I think you can just run this and now check. You are checking at row 10. You can see even we don't have that row 10. We have dropped it. Row 4 again we have dropped. Row 4, 10. Any other? Let's scroll through 27, 30. Yeah, I think you can just have those examples. That is at 10, and at also at 3. Also I think at 1 and at 5. So these are the columns that have had the values that are greater than 140. So you can drop anything. You can set a rule and then maybe drop or maybe replace. Just that easy using this line of code here. The other part, the last part, I think, we are talking of removing duplicates. So duplicates are data points that have repeated themselves, and I think we can just remove them. So we say that duplicate rows that have been registered more than one time, and I don't know if we have that, but we can check. We have a method for checking to discover duplicates. We can use the duplicated method. So I think we can just check. We have duplicate values. I think Python is quite easy when it comes to, like, we have so many functions when it comes to pandas. Python for data analysis. So let us just check duplicates values. And I think you can just use the duplicated whatever. The duplicated. I want to check the duplicate data points in max pass. So we can comment on this. Just the same thing. We first of all, like we have to look through all the data points in this max pass, checking for duplicate values. So again, we can just use the data dot duplicated values. I think you can just print out this. Let us just try to print this out. Let's see. I think you can add a message here and call them duplicates. Let us see what we have. So we have an output like this one here. Let me just take you through this. So like we are checking every data point here, whether it is duplicated or not. Where we have duplicate, we will get a true, and where you don't have a duplicate, we will get a false. So I don't think we have a duplicate. I don't think we have a duplicate here. I think all of them are false. We can check a different row. Let us just check. I don't think we have duplicates at max pass, but we can check the duration. Let us just check the duration column, because I can see we have duplicates. Just check these. I think we can even, instead of looping through this, we can just maybe print out the duplicated values for the whole data set. Let us see this. I think that one will be easier. Let us check this out. You can run this. I'm still getting the head. Let me just remove these. think it's talking of 0.
Is that because we are checking the entire row?
Yes.
Instead of maybe if we would check a column.
Let us just check a column here. I think you can just specify a column. Let us check the duration column. Duration is equals to what? Data. Then you want to access the duration column here. So let us just check the duration. I think you can check these. And I think you are getting some. There are some which are true. I think I don't know if I'm able to pass even the head. Just try to invoke that and see what I'll get here. So you see, it will just return true where we have duplicates, and a false where we don't have duplicates. So this is in case of like you can see all these true and falses. These truths, they're just showing that we have duplicates. So if maybe a value is 60 and it will just show true where we have maybe 60. That's why we are getting all these true stuff here in this duration. So I think you can also print. Let's just try to print the data in this duration. Data for duration. And see what will be the output here. I think also this one we can use the dot. I don't know if you're able to access the head method here. But you can just try it out. I think you're able to get that. But anywhere we have 60, it will just write true if it is a duplicate. And that's why you are seeing like so many truths, because we have a repetition of what? Of 60 all over. You can see we have a lot of 60, like 60 being repeated so much. That's why you can see all these true. Because how this is done is it is just check like the value is value 40 a duplicate. It will just return a true if it is, and a false if it is not a duplicate. So how now we deal with this duplicate? We just have like to drop the duplicated values, and this is how you do that. You're just taking the data frame that we have, and then we drop duplicates. Just this one line of code is enough to remove all the duplicates. I think you can just see that. Let's say that you want to remove all the duplicated values for the duration. You just have to use this. You can use the duration, and you want to drop all the duplicates. You can just try to print out these and see what you're going to get here. So I'm trying to print out the duration. Let me just you can have the duration. After removing the duplicates. So this is what I have after removing the duplicates. So if I were to maybe comment out this line and maybe try to print the duration, you notice, let me just, there are so many, let me just try to print the head. Maybe 60 rows. You notice that now here I have so many rows. But if I apply now, I apply this line of code here to drop out the duplicates. And even maybe try to print the first 60 rows. You notice that I have just several values here because I have removed the 60. That's why you cannot see 60 maybe repeating itself or any other value here repeating itself. So it is just that easy. Just one line of code, then you are done with the duplicates. Just with one line of code, and then you're able maybe to do away with these duplicates. And then again, I think with maybe is it 3 lines of code, four lines of code here. You're able again to deal with maybe dropping out, maybe setting rules and removing some values here. So I think that is simply that with data cleaning. So we have removing rows, removing the wrong data. We have also dropping null values, replacing null values. That is the process of cleaning data, cleaning a data set before even you think of doing some analysis on it. So that is always the first step. You must clean that data set. So any question about data cleaning? That is the first thing to do when you're given a data set maybe to do analysis. The first thing is to do cleaning. You must do the data cleaning. And those are some of the ways you can clean data. I think that is quite easy. I'll share this file. And also I'll do what? I think I'll have to check the date, the date stuff, and also the mode stuff. Those are two things that I should check. What have been updated. So any question before we drop off? I think it was very fast, but again, those were quite simple concepts. So any question? That by the way, that marks the end of data cleaning. Okay, Wema.
Okay, I was wondering if we are opting for removing the rows, then the numbering is affected.
So is there a way in which we can maybe rewrite the code to have the numbers flowing again? Because I think if we are going to be analyzing, and that is going to affect the analysis.
Of the indexing.
Yeah.
So I don't think that one will not affect your analysis, because you don't like analyze the indexing. What you do, you analyze the actual data minus the index, right? And if you were to change these, maybe when you are saving the data, you can specify how you're going to save that data.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question? That one was a good question. Any other person who need clarification on data cleaning?
Jane,
Yes.
mine is not a question though.
Yeah.
So you feel like when we did SQL, I got a data set, tried cleaning it with SQL, though I used the Beaver. But yeah, tried cleaning it, it's still the same. So when cleaning it, using just cleaning it where the just in bits, I could get the, what are they called? I could get the results. But now when running the whole query, I had some errors. So if it's possible, you could maybe in one of these lessons you get a data set and we do the cleaning of the data set using all this stuff, the dropna, fillna, everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we can have that. Just so that maybe we can see how it operates. But again, I think we will see, because the next thing that we are going to do, that is let me just open this lecture here. That is it, lecture number 6. Again, we will. Yeah, I think this one is on another. Is on another what? On another library for Python. But we are going to have a data set that we are going to do like analysis and even do the visualization. I think that is. We must have that. I don't know whether it is lecture number. Because after even doing the analysis, we must do visualization and stuff. So we are going to have that. We are going to have that data set that we are going to do the analysis and see how these things operate. I think will be the last lectures.
Okay, so we'll first start with the cleaning part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we are going to have that. So Winnie, your mic is on. Yeah. Any other maybe any person who needs maybe a clarification, or when your hand is up. Winnie?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. Any other person with a question regarding data cleaning? think this is just part. We are going to have that lecture. It's there. So if there is no any other question, tomorrow we are going to learn another Python library that will enable us to deal with numbers. That is, you can be checking like what is NumPy. Yeah, you can just check what is NumPy so that maybe tomorrow you will have an idea of what is NumPy. So I think we can drop off if there is no other question. Yeah, I see you tomorrow. So yeah, bye and have a good night. Yes, you are welcome, David.